It's windy as fuck today. It's a Sunday. I got like a 30-minute drive. And I was just doing some shopping. And they had a Vermont, one of those circular Vermont stickers on the back of their car. Well, it said VT, but I assumed it was Vermont. I don't know, it could stand for Vagina Tactical or something. But they had a New Hampshire license plate, and they had a bumper sticker, which is what made me think of this. The bumper sticker said, "I am woman, hear me vote," VOTE. And I know it's supposed to be like power, go girl. And honestly, I felt genuine sorrow for the gender, the female gender, or the individuals even in that mindset. You know, I just look around at the world and I know that a lot of young men feel like men are losing, but you gotta trust me. Men are continuing to win, and I really do wish, because I want everybody to be happier, that it would be a little bit more equal, because then people could perceive the world as a little bit nicer for them. But it's 2023, it's the current year, so I know that's not an argument, but this woman's just proud, and I kind of got to look at her. I think she was, it's hard to tell. She's a white lady, so she could have been in her, with short hair and dressed a little manly with the hat on. She could have been in her 30s, she could have been in her 50s. I'm going to guess 50s, like early 50s. But I genuinely felt bad, and the reason I felt bad is because the corporations are just digging into these women. They're digging into a lot of non-white people, and they're taking over this system. Even Eminem has that commercial, flip the status quo, women are in charge now. You're taking over a system that we don't want. The reason you're getting control and power of these structures like college and the government, excuse me, and a cubicle job, is because men are oh, we don't want this bullshit anymore. We're entrepreneurs. We're making money on the internet and stuff. And not everybody. You got a lot of women that figured it out. Especially Asian women really they get it. If I look at it at a global level, not Southern Asians, but Northern Asians, they get it. They get it. You see a lot of them making their money online, whether it's through a business or being the brand ambassador for a business, the main brand, the face. But a lot of these other people are coming to America and they're oh, I did it. Here's the dream. Now I'm the CEO of a company. And it's that's not the dream anymore. And it's sad. Women are we're voting for this, we're voting for this. Okay, fine, but the government's at an all-time low. No one believes in this BS anymore. And so why I'm saying this in my mind, saying words in mind, why am I writing this to you, is it's sad, man. As they continue to pressure people, when slavery ended, when they were working at Jim Crow and all this stuff, when Thomas Sowell writes about all this stuff, the reason black people so quickly escalated from like nothing into the stratosphere. Same thing with Jewish people after the Holocaust. Same thing with Japanese people after they left the internment camps. They went from 0 to 100 almost overnight, is because when you swim upstream, you get stronger. As they continue to patronize and I guess placate to non-white, non-straight men, and it's a lot of the black community falls into like this, into the same categories, getting picked on like white men. Because any black man that stands up for himself gets called an Oreo and thrown into that category. Same thing with any Spanish-speaking native or non-Spanish-speaking native from another country that move here. They get called the coconut, and you got radishes and coconuts and all this stuff. So there's a group of people that are being independent. They're in this world of independency, and they see the global stage. They don't want one global government. They want a decentralized space between one another, and they're all winning. And I'm just starting to believe that it's always going to be 1 to 3% that are just outside moving forward. Then you have all these people that are like creating awards for themselves and like cheering themselves on for stuff that we accomplished 50 years ago. When they're like, it's our turn. It's like we abandoned that place and now you moved in and you're like, we got it. This is ours. And it's like, okay, yeah, you can have it. We gave it to you. Yeah, but we have it now. It's like, yeah, we don't care. We don't want to go to college. We don't want 150K in debt. We don't want to work in a cubicle. So enjoy, have at it. Be submissive to a boss. So the reason I bring this up, because if you're a woman listening to this, or somebody that falls into the structure that's not paying attention, within like a decade from now, and it moves pretty quick, so it might be shorter than that, these same people will begin complaining about how like entrepreneurship is sexist, how entrepreneurship is racist, how entrepreneurship doesn't like, gay people. Meanwhile, there'll have been plenty of those individuals that have gone through that space that won't pay any attention to this. And by that time, there'll be something new. Like, we'll have a decentralized world where we're all using AI, and, anybody that's actually like creative and independent and moving forward will be like floating around in like space, in a spacecraft with AI, gathering their resources, and then these people will be move forward and they'll be like, yeah, we want to be entrepreneurs now. And we're like, yeah, go ahead, have it. Like, that's 50-year-old technology again, or 10-year-old technology, or whatever speed. So I don't know, it's just really sad. It's really sad to see people fighting for something that's so obsolete. And I guess maybe if you feel like you never had it before because you've been brainwashed, the propaganda is strong. So I grew up with the American Dream slogan. I think a lot of people did. And it just takes you a long time, even after you realize that it's just it's a banking advertisement to buy houses so they can sell you a loan. It's a product. It's product placement propaganda. That they want the tax people to go into these houses and the American Dream. And there's still a lot of people that push this nowadays. And don't recognize that it is. And I do feel for them as well, because even though I've recognized it, there's a lot of times when I'm doing my monthly goals that I'm trying to decide whether or not that I want a house. And every time that I work it out with my finances and my goals and my investments and stuff, it's really not worth it, because the amount of money that I would spend, the amount of interest that I would pay, I can take that and reinvestment in something decentralized, which I'm not going to bring up on this channel, but there's plenty of decentralized investments that you can make out there that will give you a far better return right now. If you've been paying attention to the market, it's dipped, it's stopped, it's dipped, it's kind of going sideways now. And if you just rewind, if you just rewind a couple years back, you can look at society and see where the prices of some of these decentralized investment products were, where they are now. Do some quick little research to see if there's actually a team, if the team's the same, if they've been growing, if they've been working on stuff. And it's like anybody, it's like, oh, I wish I would have, invested in, this when it was this. You have that chance right now. And I think the growth potential on that is far more than the American dream. It's far more than a college education. Most of these things that you need to learn are all online. They're all on the internet. So if you can come up with, most people in the United States have a phone. If not, you can go to the library, but you can also pay $50 a month, get internet access and a computer, and look this stuff up. It's pretty easy at this point to see where the world's going on a global level. And I don't know, it just, that bumper sticker really hit me hard. I really feel for these individuals that have been tricked into thinking they're fighting for something. They're spending their whole life fighting for something that they already have, and they're not slowing down. So, or they're fighting for something that no one wants. What's really, really sad about, for the gay community, for women, and anybody that's living within this system mindset still of the government, or this one world government that they're trying to create or whatever, is that they believe that their rights and what they get is from the government, instead of just realizing that you have those already. So what you want is a privilege. You're fighting for a privilege. You don't get privileges from reality. I guess rights is the best word that we have. It's not really a right. You have these, I guess they're inalienable rights, but everybody has the right to defend themselves in the way that they see fit. And if anything, when people are like, well, I don't have the right because if I do that, the government comes and beats you up. It's like, yeah, you have the right to do it. It's just the government's a fucking violent gang that's attacking you. That's not us. I understand why if you look in the mirror and your face looks one way, and then you look out at the government and you see the faces of the government, you think that those same faces in that group are attacking you. But they're just a violent gang. Like all violent gangs. And if you want to go join the violent gang or beg the violent gang to do stuff for you, it's not a right. You're begging for a privilege for them to change something. A right is just what it is. It just exists inherently. I went on this date about, I don't know, over last summer. It's the end of the winter now, it's spring, so it was over last summer. And the woman was I just turned 48 in March, and the date was with 26-year-old woman. And I got to tell you, it's really, the age difference does make a huge difference. Nowadays, we're walking around this beautiful apple orchard, and it's not the age, I shouldn't say that. If they went through school, the political stuff makes a big difference. Because we're walking around this beautiful field. We're looking at this beautiful mountain in this apple orchard. There's birds everywhere, and she's just talking to me how she hopes she's dead by 45. And I was like, excuse me, I'm 47. It's like, life's pretty damn good. She's like, yeah, I'm just kind of sick of working. You have to, like, I didn't ask to, like, have to work for food. And, like, she's literally complaining about having to work to get her needs met. She's just, I mean, and then she's claiming that she's like a feminist and all this stuff, and it's like, you're pretty much saying, like, society should take care of you, sure, that you're like a child with breasts. So I left her outside and I went into the orchard and I was getting some food and stuff, and there was a really nice farm girl that worked there, and she's like, is everything okay? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, you seem like you're in a fight. And I was like, I'm not in a fight, it's just it's a first date and the last date. And she's like, yeah, I can kind of see that. And I was like, yeah, she's complaining about a mountain view on an apple orchard with birds. And she's like, I know, my dad owns a farm. I'm so blessed to have this and have a job, and it's so nice here, and blah, blah. And it's like, see, not all women are like that. So it was just interesting, because the woman that's on her father's farm that is very feminine, that's working at the store, her office is a mountain view, and she's learning entrepreneurship, and she maybe she did have a college education, I don't know, maybe she went for business or something, for the finances of the farm or agriculture or something, but she's just happy and delighted and probably making really good money for the family business and stuff. And the other woman is like begging the government for privileges so she doesn't have to find her own food. I don't really know where this is going, so I want to enjoy the rest of my ride. I have a nice view of the trees right now and the White Mountains of New Hampshire, so I'm going to stop this video short, but some food for thought there for you, unless food for thought is too much work to get your own food. So. All right, man, this thing's getting really beautiful.